Hello and welcome back to another episode of Smart ER News for everything good and bad in the world of smart cars. So today we're going to look at a few things really. We're going to look at the cost of ownership of some of the Smart Fortwos. We're going to look at some accessories, some funny ones, some not so funny ones, but maybe a little bit more serious than things that we would use. And also we're going to look at the good, the bad and the ugly, as usual, of modifications in smart cars. So before we start, we're going to look at the purchasing of your first or maybe another Smart Fortwo coupe. There are three incarnations. There's the Smart 450, there is the 451, and then there is the 453. The 450 is the first version with a 660cc engine. Then you've got the 451, which went up to about 900cc, and they also added a diesel version. And then you've got the brand spanking new 453 with its more modern, more squared off look, with a lot more tech inside, more refined, and this time coming with a manual gearbox. So what would you expect to pay? So for the first incarnation here in the UK, you're looking at around about £1,000. You can buy them cheaper, but I would say avoid anything less than that. Maybe about 65,000 miles on the clock. It should be in reasonable condition, but you'll still get all the versatility you get with all of the smart cars. Moving on then to the 451, which is the one I currently drive. The 451 you can get in a diesel version as well, but it's got a bit of a larger displacement on the engine. It's a bit more low down grunt, and I think it's refined more. You tend to find more of them then having the full length glass roof as well, which gives you that really good air of size inside. It doesn't feel so cramped, but I believe the first one only came with a steel roof. I may be wrong. Put a comment in the section below and just tell me where I went wrong. I'm always open, always open. Then for the 451, as I said, you pick it up for about £2,000, £2,500. You also got the cabriolet version. You can get that in the first version, but again, it's down to personal preference, but look to pay a little bit more. Now, in terms of the 453, there's still not that many around. You can buy them used. They started to come out here in the UK around about 2016, and you can pick those up for about £6,500, £6,000. There are some cheaper ones. So here in the UK, if you've had a crash, etc., and it's been repaired and repaired properly and checked by the Ministry of Transport, they get categorised into different levels of severity of repair. So you can pick one up for about £4,500, £5,000 that's been damaged and repaired. Not always a bad thing, but you need to do your research and understand what you're buying. Was it a cosmetic repair, or was it a more mechanical frame, engine, suspension repair, which then would lead a little bit more doubt to my mind as to whether that was something I was going to have. But hey, if you're willing to compromise and grab yourself a bargain, I don't see any reason why not, so long as you're confident you know what to look for, or take a mechanic with you that does. So going back to running costs then, so for the Smart 451, which is what I use, and for the Smart 450, I understand the Smart 450, you're looking at about 60 miles to the gallon. With the 451, again, 60 to 65, sometimes 70. Now, I personally use mine in and around town a lot, but I also do a fair bit of highway, not motorway miles, but the dual carriageway. So a faster road than normal city driving, maybe 50, 60 miles an hour. The combination I get, well, I'd probably say I get nearer the 60, 65 miles per gallon in a true scenario. I regularly fill my car up. So to fill the car up here in the UK, my Smart 451, you're looking at around about £37, and that can pretty much last me a month. And that's going back and forth work every single day. That's going to visit friends around about 15, 20 miles away, pretty much every couple of days. The odd shopping trip back and forth to the small city. So I think it's really, really good value. So while we're on fuel economy, you've also got in the 451, towards the end of its life, they bring in an EV vehicle, an electric vehicle. And I believe the range on that was anywhere between 55 and 90 miles. But again, I may be wrong. Put it in the comments below. I'm open to suggestions. However, now with this new 453 model, they're really starting to pick up the game with the electric revolution. And yeah, range is 120, 150 miles, pretty easy all day long. So here in the UK, we have an additional tax, good old tax man. It's called road fund license, or known to commonly here as road tax. Now, it's based currently on the emissions that you have coming from each vehicle. So if it's a small engine vehicle that doesn't put out a lot of carbon, then you'll pay less annual road tax. If it's a zero emissions vehicle, like a hybrid or like an all-electric vehicle, an EV vehicle, you don't pay any road tax. But to give you a bit of an idea, if you have a Range Rover and it's the sort of 5-litre V8 big thirsty petrol version, you're probably looking at £505 to £535 per year, every year, just to be legal and on the road. A smart car, on the other hand, goes from being, even the low petrol versions, even the early ones, expect to pay no more than £30, that's £30 a month for your road fund license or your road tax, but the majority are zero. So you have a new incarnation called the MHD, and that's one which has start-stop technology with the 451 series moving onwards. They're pretty much all zero now, so you don't pay any road fund license. So again, another winner. And the diesel version, so for a brief time we had a diesel version of the 451, really reliable, really good. It had a few more toys on it like sat-nav and built-in telephone control television. You could play videos on the display. But what you also found was the fuel consumption was easily in the 90s. They claim 100, but easily in the 90s, and I would go for ages and ages without having to visit a fuel station. So again, if fuel economy is on your mind, reliability is on your mind, don't forget the diesel version. So in terms of repairs, now, as you may or may not know, I have maintenance videos in this channel which show you all things, and I've done this from when things have arisen, from simple light bulb changes, brake bulb changes, rear brake shoes. I've got to do a couple more. I'm going to be doing the front brake pad changes as well very soon. But if you're prepared to get your hands dirty and get stuck in, you will save yourself a small fortune. So for example, a small oil and filter change on any of the Mark 1 or Mark 2 smart cars, you're looking at around about, from a dealer, anywhere from £75 to £100. Do it yourself, follow my videos, you'll do it for about 45 quid, if not even cheaper, if you can find the parts cheaper. That's a hell of a saving. Obviously you don't get a stamp in the book, so it's down to you then what you decide. So if you're confident you're going to keep up the maintenance, and when you come to sell the vehicle it won't have successive service history stamps, do it yourself, save yourself a fortune. So things like brake pads and brake shoes, etc. So the brake shoes go on the back. They're a slightly different design. They're more of a C shape, but press against the rear drum to make it slow down, whereas pads at the front are pretty much endemic now of every vehicle on the road. They're literally plates, flat plates, about so big, and when a foot brake is applied, they put pressure on the hoses and it clamps against the brake pads, which goes around the wheel, and there's a rotor attached to the wheel, and that slows it down. Those brake pads you can pick up for around about £15–20 here in the UK at the local motor factors. Don't forget eBay, don't forget Amazon, do your searching, you can pick up a bargain. If you go and get brake pads changed in a garage here in the UK, you're looking probably around about £80 to £90. So think about it, a couple of hours of work, including looking at some videos on how to do it, and then buying cheaper parts, it's a no-brainer. Again, air filters, £6. You get an air filter changed in a garage, you're looking at £45. £6, £6.50 for an air filter. The cabin pollen filter to keep you nice and cool and keep out all those nasty bits of dust and grime that float around. Again, you're looking at around about £7 or £8 for that. I'll show you how to fit it. There's videos to show you how to fit it. Go to a dealer, you're looking 50 quid. So save yourself some money, do it yourself if you feel confident. Check out the videos and see if that's something that you can get into and save yourself a lot of money. So we're going to look at something else now. So that's pretty much maintenance. So I think in terms of the newer version, hold on one second, the 453, I don't know much about those yet. I still believe they're quite accessible for you to be able to do the service, but again, they're newer vehicles. You probably, if you change your car every couple of years, you'll want to keep the service history up. So I would suggest find somebody who's really comfortable with those cars. There aren't that many around. Some people shy away from them because they are quite compact. They require either a bit of knowledge or a fair bit of time, and garages are all about trying to save money to get you in and get you out so they can rotate and keep the money coming in. So have a think about it. So I've had a little look around today, so let's look at some accessories. The first one is this. It's called the hatchbag. So effectively it's a wraparound material that goes in the boot of your car. Those of you who know my channel now will know that I've got a husky and hairs go everywhere with huskies. So it does a number of things. It's nice, easy application. Just pop it in, it clips on, snaps on. Very clean, very tidy, and protects the interior of your car. So when it comes to resale time, yeah, hey, if you've got a dog or if you've got things that you put in back to get a bit wet, a bit muddy, again, it's a simple wipe down and away you go. The next one is an aux in or aux out cable. Now I've done a video on this. So if you've got one of the older smart cars where you don't have hands-free telephone integration, or you can't play your music from your phone on your car, you can easily buy this. It cost me £6. Again, there's a video on the website to show you how to do this. It sounds daunting, it looks daunting, but it really is not. There are step-by-step guides on my video, what you need, very little in terms of equipment and tools. It took me 2 days to get the cable. I now have hands-free telephone communication. I can play all my audio tracks that I've got saved on my iPhone, and I can safely have conversations at any point in my journey without having to take my hands off the wheel, pick up the phone, which is illegal here in the UK, literally touch a button, or most of all, which I really love, is use Siri or whatever the Android equivalent is. So hey Google. Okay Google. God, I'm so old. The third item we're going to look at is aluminium luggage support bars. So these things now, they basically supplement the pullover cover that hides your boot from prying eyes if you've got any valuables in there. Now, sometimes I'll carry around some camera equipment, drones. I'm into drones. I may do some deliveries in work because it's just great for zipping in and out of spaces and parking. But you sometimes find that the pullover cover, it can't support anything on the top. But with these bars, A, it supports it from sagging, but B, you can put some extra bits and pieces, albeit lighter, on the top as well. And I think that's a really useful thing that you can have. Not very dear. Again, all the links are below of where you can get these items from. What do you think? Have you got any accessories that you've bought for your car? Anything you'd like me to look at? I'm looking to get the CD holder, the cup holder, and probably an armrest put in very soon, but I'm just waiting for the right time to get those on Amazon, eBay. I'm just waiting for that bargain. Okay, so now on to my favourite part of the Smarty R News Show, and that is the good, the bad, and the ugly of smart car modifications. So my first one, I'm just going to refresh my memory. Oh, I love it. It's a smart car, Jurassic car. I think that's awesome. Awesome. Look at the colours. Colours are spot on. I could so do that to my car. I've got a black base one anyway. And I've got a sign writing company that work next to me. I could get a grey wrap over that. That'd be awesome. I could smash that. Don't know about the roof rack though. That looks a bit complicated. But I really love that. I think they've nailed that. So good bit of fun. Everything to do with smart there. Fun and practical. Look at all the roof space as well. Ooh, I like it. And I think they've nailed the Jurassic Park sticker on the door. Brilliant. So that's the good. Now let's move on to the bad. So the bad one, some people will love it and call me, oh, you're boring, or a moody git. But I don't really like it. It's a jacked up smart car. So we both know it's not going to be a smart car. It's basically going to be a shortened, some sort of V8 super powered muscle car on a purpose built chassis. Okay, I suppose it is fun. I suppose people would giggle, but I'm sure I've seen that done many times before now, and I don't really like it. I'm sure it's really well engineered and executed, but nah, don't like it. So I'm going to call out the bad for this week. What do you think? Put in the comments below. Yuck. And now the ugly. So we're going to look at the ugly. Now this one I think is, the person who made this should be arrested for an assault on smart cars. I think it's disgusting. You've taken pretty much a perfectly good Smart 451 Cabriolet and you've just just bolted on some sort of trike front end, would you be seen dead in that? All right, maybe if it's an engineering exercise or you own a salvage yard and you've got a broken smart car and some bikes, you put it together for a bit of fun. But I'm sorry, I definitely wouldn't photograph it, and I definitely wouldn't want it on the web. Ew, I'd hide. So yeah, that's everything good and bad in the world of smart car and ugly, good, bad, and ugly in the smart car modification world for this week. So thanks again very much for your patience. Thanks for your understanding. Thank you for your support and your enthusiasm, and keep those comments coming, keep those suggestions coming, and I will do my very best to get them done for you. That's it for this week. Have a great week ahead. It's brilliant weather here today, so I'm going to get out and go and do a bit and see if I can finish a couple of those videos off for you. Have a great day and stay smart. Bye.